Here is a number that should make every practice owner uncomfortable. The most expensive piece of equipment in your practice might not be the one you bought. It's the one you bought without running the math. Welcome back to the Business of Aesthetics podcast. I'm your host for this session, Don Adisha. And to help us turn capital spending from a gut feeling into a CFO level math, we are joined by Danielle Hayden. Danielle is the CEO of Kickstart Accounting and the author of the Profit Planner book series. She spent more than 10 years in corporate boardrooms as a CFO before dedicating her career to giving business owners the same financial clarity that boards and investors demand. She has helped over 1,000 of owners transform the way they read the numbers. Today, we're discussing the three financial numbers that decides whether your practice can truly afford its next device. We're talking about how to spot the spending that quietly bleeds the practice and how to run your finances like a CEO instead of guessing from a bank balance. This episode is brought to you by Echo Marketing, the growth partner behind this podcast and a trusted resource in the aesthetic community. That being said, Danielle, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Absolutely. Now, Daniel, you spent over a decade in corporate boardrooms before working with business owners. So, when a practice owner tells you, I just brought a $150,000 laser because my rep said it pays for itself, what is the very first number you pull up to test whether that decision was actually a good idea?
Well, my hope is that the business owner can call us before they pull the trigger. So I'd love to have the opportunity. So I believe that every single CEO, every single business owner deserves to have a money team. And on your money team should be a bookkeeper, a CFO, a team member, and a tax team member, and then you as a CEO. So we have four total team members. And these four team members should work together. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not suggesting that you have four full-time team members on your staff, but what I'm hoping is that before you go to make that decision, you know your numbers. And that is my mission, is to help small business owners have access to clean and accurate bookkeeping so that when they go to make these business decisions, they feel confident and empowered by looking at data. They can say, all right, here's my financial statements. Here's what's happened in my business year to date. And then that's the bookkeeping part of it. But step two is the budget. This piece of equipment is going to help me get to my 10-year goal, my 3-year business plan, and it fits within my 1-year budget. I know I have the cash to be able to pay for this piece of equipment now.
Having the cash, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about cash flow or capital in the bank?
I'm talking about cash flow from the business.
Okay.
I believe that every business, when they look at their financial statements, now here's a few, like the bit most business owners pay attention to revenue and then maybe the profit and loss statement. Like if we're lucky, a business owner is paying attention to their profit and loss statement, so they're looking at their revenue and their profit. Here's the problem, especially when we're talking about making big capital purchases. That capital purchase does not show up on the income statement. It shows up on your balance sheet. That becomes an investment and a loan on your balance sheet. And so your business has to not only have the cash or not only have to have the profit, but it has to have enough cash to be able to pay you as the owner, be able to fund your owner's draws, fund tax payments, fund your inventory, and all of your debt for the equipment.
Mm-mm. Now, when you hear that phrase, it pays for itself, what assumption do you immediately want to challenge?
Mm-hmm. I want to see it in data. So I understand, look, I'm a salesperson at heart too. I do our discovery calls, so I get it. I think it's important to think about our purchases as a CEO in terms of return of investment. So I believe in the strategy. What I want to challenge each of you to think about when someone says to you, there is a return of investment. I want you to ask for the data. So when we work with our clients, if you were to have this conversation with us before you made that purchase, we would say, all right, let's put this into the budget and then let's run scenario planning. And I'm getting really excited because I super love numbers. Other people are listening are probably like, okay, Danielle. But I want you to run the scenarios. Let's say this piece of equipment, the clients don't come for 6 months and you're running at 25% of the capacity that this has for 6 months. What does that do for your cash flow? Let's say it takes 8 months that you're only at 30% of the capacity. Like, what are the scenarios that are going to be ran in order to get that return of investment?
What are the scenarios? What are the scenarios that you're seeing that actually works?
Yeah. So when you're building this budget, so we would look at the next 12 months before the capital purchase. We would say, all right, let's set the budget for the next 12 months. And now I want to be clear, it's not just about this one purchase because your
Mhm.
business has so many things going on. So we need to look at what's the current revenue coming in. What's the seasonality of your business? What season are you in? What are the other spending initiatives that you have? Are you running a marketing campaign? Are you running paid ads? Do we have enough cash to continue our sales and marketing efforts of our business? In this industry, we have high facility costs. So we also need to
Mhm.
know what our facility costs are going to be. Are there any rent increases that are coming up in the next year? Payroll. We have to plan out our payroll dollars. Who's going to use the machine? Who's going to operate it? Who is going to continue to run the operations of your business? So we're going to map out the next 12 months worth of payroll. All right, that's the base model. The budget is the base. So we can say, if I don't buy this piece of equipment, here's my budget, here's my base scenario for the next 12 months. Now we can run the scenarios. I buy this piece of equipment. Do I need to run any advertising and marketing for the equipment? Um, do I need any new team members who are trained on the equipment? How long does it take to train each of those team members and how many team members? Every time you're paying a team member to go through training, they're not seeing a client, they're not seeing a patient. So we need to know how many hours it's going to take to train them. How many months will we be paying for this piece of equipment until we're actually utilizing it? From
Mhm.
there, the scenarios are, if this piece of equipment is utilized at 25%, do I have enough cash to make the debt payments on this piece of equipment? Even if the clients don't come flooding in the door, which it happens, like
Yes.
I'm a visionary. So I get so excited about new things. And I want to do all of them. And so I want to make new offers and I want to bring in new things. And I think so many of your listeners are visionaries like me, right?
Absolutely.
So you're excited about this piece of equipment. We don't know if all of your clients are going to be just as excited about this piece of equipment that you are. So the first scenario that we're going to test is what happens if it's only 25% utilized? Does your business from normal business operations have enough cash to pay for the debt? Then we can run scenario number two. What if it's 50%? Like about
Mhm.
50% of the machine is utilized. What's the cash coming in? And is there enough cash in order to pay for the debt for the piece of equipment? And
Mhm.
then I would also run it at a 75%. So I kind of run those three scenarios so that
Right.
you can see the numbers of what the impact is going to have on your business. Now, I feel like I sound kind of like a pessimist right now. And I want to be clear, this might be like the greatest machine in the world. And it's going to
Absolutely.
really, really bring in clients and make a difference. And so, understanding what your core values are is also going to help you make this decision. If it aligns with your core
Mhm.
values, it fits into your 10-year North Star, it fits into that 10-year plan, it's part of where you want to bring your practice long term, then that answer becomes let's run the data, let's have it. And it can be a hell yeah, because I know the data. I know I have enough cash to pay for the debt, and it aligns with my long-term goals. Too many of us are just making the decisions because we're super excited and not because we've
Yeah.
ran all of that math, and we're making it from a place of confidence and empowerment. Like, I am the CEO and I am the
Mm,
visionary of this business.
right. Confidence backed by real data. That's the best formula there is. Now, Danielle, as you were mentioning all of these different aspects of your scenario planning, I could not help but wonder paralysis by too much information. So
Yeah.
now you teach that there are three financial numbers every owner needs to know before making a big decision. Please walk us through exactly what those three numbers are and where a practice owner finds each one in their books.
Yeah. And I hear the analysis paralysis. I do find there's kind of like those three decision making. Some of us make it on gut and emotion, some of us make it on decision or on data, and then some of us can never make a decision because we're in paralysis. So I hear that. Let's simplify it. Okay. So if you're like, Danielle, I can't run all those scenarios. I don't have a money team. I don't have a CFO team to help me run those scenarios. I do want to give you three. The first one, it's a no-brainer. It's revenue in the door. And I want you to not just look at revenue last month or year to date. I want you to understand your monthly revenue for your rolling 12 months. So when we send our clients their financial statements every month, we use what we call the snapshot. It's our CEO level dashboard that we send to our clients instead of a laundry list of financial statements nobody knows how to read. And when we send that, we include this month's revenue, the revenue year to date, and then the rolling 12 months revenue. And that rolling 12 months is really important because it smooths out the noise. So you can get this by going into QuickBooks. Your data has to be up to date, and then it has to be accurate. So ask your bookkeeper if you're the one doing the bookkeeping, have somebody check your books for you, because you cannot make these decisions on incorrect bookkeeping. QuickBooks doesn't have any features where it goes, alarm, alarm, your data is wrong. It just doesn't. So once your data is accurate and complete, you can go and run the income statement by month or the profit and loss statement by month and run it for the last 12 months. That's going to give your average monthly revenue. And that's kind of that number that can become your break even or revenue number. The second number is your net profit. This is what stays in the business. All right. It's revenue minus cost of goods sold minus all of your operating expenses, that net income number. Same thing. I want you to know what it was for last month. You can know what it is year to date. But most importantly, I want you to know what this number is for the last 12 months. What is your average net profit? Okay. That number is what you can use to make these types of investments. This is the number that you use to make draws. And so we need to know what the monthly net profit is. Does that make sense?
So far, so good. So far, so
Okay,
good.
cool. Okay. All right. So both those numbers you can find on the profit and loss statement by month. You're going to pull out the average for revenue, pull out the average for profit. Here's where it gets a little
Mm.
messy. I want you to know the monthly average cash outlay of your business. This number is important because cash is the number one reason why business owners go out of business. And I want that to sink in. It's not you're not good enough. It's not that you're not talented enough. It's not that you don't have good people. It's not your core values on the wall. It is cash. Okay. So we need to have enough cash in order to fund these types of investments. And so here you're going to look at your cash flow statement. And for the last 12 months, on average, how much cash left your business each month? And that's going to be through your expenses plus your debt payments. So your current debt payments, your current inventory, and then tax payments. So on average, how much is leaving your business? I'm going to say those again. Okay, you're going to go to the income statement. You're going to pull out average monthly operating expenses. plus your average monthly owner's draws, plus your average monthly debt payments. That's how much cash is leaving your business. Don, here's what happens. Business owners don't see the balance sheet because it's not the sexy statement that everyone feels comfortable with. So we go and we buy a bunch of inventory. We take out owner's draws. We make that $30,000 tax payment. That's on the balance sheet. And then we sign up for the credit card that had low interest, the line of credit to build out the facility. And now we have all these debt payments. Then we come to our financial statements and we say, oh my God, I'm profitable, but I have no cash. Like, where did all my money go? It's hiding on your balance sheet. So the third number you need to know is the monthly average outflow of cash from your business. If this number is not positive, right? If it cannot sustain your average monthly business operations today, the answer is no, you cannot buy that machine.
Okay. Do you have a safety percentage perhaps for, the numbers such as the average net profit? Like, how would you say you're comfortable with if we are seeing average net profit to average monthly revenue?
Yeah, love that question. So we use what we call healthy percentages at Kickstart. It is a way of benchmarking our spending. A lot of people will come to us and say, I see this profit and loss statement. Thank you. What's everyone else doing? What's everyone else spending? It's normal. So net, I want every business owner to be at 15% net profit. So 15% of your revenue is in profit. And that way it can sustain your draws, your reinvestments. Now, if you have a lot of debt, if you're taking a lot of draws, then we might want to bring that number up. However, our base number is 15%. And there's a lot of ways that you can get down to the 15%. If you'd like to walk through those, we can. But net, we want to stay at 15% profit.
Okay, amazing. We're going to take a quick pause right here because a device is only half the equation. The other half is whether enough of the right patients are walking through your door to keep that device busy. If you're not sure your marketing can actually fill that schedule, Echo Marketing is offering our listeners a complimentary 60-minute marketing strategy meeting. It's a one-on-one session where you'll get a clear, realistic 12-month roadmap for attracting high-value patients. That's your ideal patient right there. And there's no pressure, there's no obligation with the meeting. Just go to businessofesthetics.org/MSM and grab a time that works for you. I'll repeat that one more time. Business of Aesthetics, that's one word, .org/MSM. All right, back to Danielle, because if smart spending has a twin, it's a silent kind of spending that drains a practice without anyone noticing. So you draw a hard line between healthy spending that fuels growth and spending that quietly eats a business. In an aesthetic practice specifically, what does that unhealthy spending usually look like before the owner ever notices it?
Yeah. So what I want to bring attention to is the word notices it. Because how is a business owner going to notice it? It is our responsibility. I know that's kind of some tough love right there, but as the business owner, it is your responsibility to know your numbers. The IRS does not care if you are a creative, if you are not good with numbers, if you don't understand the income statement. You started a business and now it's your responsibility to know those numbers. And so every month, your bookkeeper goes in and strategically categorizes every single one of your transactions. At the end of each month, you should be receiving a set of financial statements from your bookkeeper. It is then your responsibility to review those numbers and to understand them. If you don't understand them, book a call, have a conversation with your bookkeeper, have them walk you through the numbers because notices them, right? We have to look at our numbers to notice the spending. Otherwise, we wake up at tax season. This is what I see too often is that we wake up in tax season and all of a sudden our tax accountant says, here's your net income, here's your tax bill. And we're like, whoa, hold on. How did we get here? So I want to invite you to look at those numbers every single month. And in doing that, you can look at the benchmarking. And so I want to give you a few examples. So for a business owner who is in growth mode, we want about 10% of your sales each month to go to advertising and marketing. So that's all the ways that you market your business and generate the sales. We have to spend money there. It's going to be about 10%. Now, there's going to be seasons where that might be closer to 15%. You're in a high growth season, maybe filling out a new provider, building up a new machine. Those dollars might go up to 15, but we need to have spending there. If we're going up over that percentage for long periods of time, then I would question, is this about ego? Is there something that's not returning of investment? Is there something bleeding out of this category? Next would be facility. So I want about 10% of your sales going to facility costs. If that's higher because you bought a larger building, it has space for you to grow into, it's fine. We can see that number a little bit higher for a season, but we want to be monitoring and noticing each month. Are we starting to grow into that space? I'll give you a few more. Yes, payroll is another big area in this industry. So we don't want to go over 50% of our sales in payroll costs. We need to have enough cash in the business to be able to buy equipment, to be able to do sales and marketing, to be able to pay for the facility. And so when your business is creeping over in this healthy spending to unhealthy for long periods of time, that's where the profitability creep starts to seep in. We want to see about 15% profit month over month. There might be a little roller coaster in there as we're investing in new seasons. That's okay. It's your responsibility each month to look at those financials. And I like to give a framework when you're looking at your numbers each month that you ask, what happened? Why did it happen? And what am I, the CEO, going to do about it?
What happened? Why did it happen? What am I going to do? If you don't mind, can you run us a short scenario of how that would look like in play?
Yeah. So I started using this framework back when I was sitting in the boardroom. As a CFO, I had to report each month on what happened in the business. And I couldn't show up to the private equity firm to say, oh, we lost money this month. Better luck next time. All shucks. And in small business, we tend to treat our business that way. Like, oh, I'm not sure what happened. Try again next month. I'm too busy to deal with it. So one of our CFO level clients, she came to Kickstart Accounting Group. She signed up for our Envision CFO services. And in Envision, what we do is we set that 10-year goal, a 3-year plan, and a 1-year budget. And we had mapped out her spending for the next 10 or the next 12 months. She was crystal clear about the goals of her business. And she came to our financial review call, and she was very surprised that she had no profit that month. She goes, well, I feel busy. Like the practice is booming. We got clients coming in the door. Like what happened? Like why do I feel busy but don't have any profit or cash in our business? And so we walked her through the financial statements, and we started at each category, not each line, because that's a lot. We walked through each category, the sales and marketing. Well, she had started working with a new firm. They were in the ramp up series. When we sign up for new marketing initiatives, they don't happen like that. It takes time. And there was also a setup fee. So we acknowledged the fact that this is a new cost. We don't have true ROI on it yet, and that we are seeing this investment through. So as we talk through it, What happened? Well, what happened is I signed up for a new marketing agency. Why did it happen? I'm in the first month of working with them. And so we don't have true ROI yet. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to monitor it for the next 3 months to ensure that we do have ROI within the next quarter or so. So that's a perfect example of very simply. And then you keep going down the income statement doing that. Well, my facility costs were under
Mm,
budget. Why? What happened? Do I need to do anything about it? My payroll. Oh, my
mm,
payroll's high this month, but that's right. I brought on the new practitioner. She's not fully booked out yet. I know I need to get her booked out. So I need to increase my sales and marketing for a few months. I have low profits because I'm increasing my sales and marketing to get my new provider up and running and booked out with new
yeah.
clients. And so what happened? Hired a new provider. Why did it happen? Well, she's part of my growth strategy and really important growth
Mm,
strategy, but I got to train her. I got to get her fully booked. What am I going to do about it as the CEO? Well, since that campaign didn't work, I am going to do a referral campaign in my current clients to see if I can get some new clients booked with her right away. Two simple
check.
examples.
Those are some great examples, and it
Okay.
really lands the whole framework in. Um, I'm curious about this 10-year goal. What is a good goal? What
Yeah.
makes a good goal?
It's really interesting how many people come to us that say, I have a hard time articulating that. Like, I have a really hard time envisioning it.
Yeah.
I There are no good or bad goals. It's where you
Okay.
want your life to be.
Mm,
I we When we do the 10-year North Star exercise with our clients, our CFO team, they are freaking amazing, and they really pull it out of you to say, like, let's really think about this. And sometimes we just can't do that on our own. Like, I know for me, I really depend on my money team to help me articulate and envision where I want to go. So my money team really helps me with that. I like to do it both business and personal. So as a mom, I like to think about how old will my kids be? How am I spending my time? Like, what do I want my days to look like? What's my stress level? We can't operate in high growth mode for 10, 20, 50 years. What does my stress level look like? What's my role in the business? And it could be conceptual. It usually in our 10-year goal, we're not thinking about, I have 25 employees, I have 3 locations. Like, it doesn't have to be that detailed. It can be bigger conceptual. Like, what do I want out of this business and out of this life?
mhm.
For a lot of people, it's, I want to exit, in 10 years, I want to sell my practice. And here's the valuation I want. So those would be some examples of how I would set that 10-year North Star.
Okay, I was just curious because it's always difficult to really know that abstract goal. How are you going to put it into paper? And then you're going to derive a 3-year plan and then a 1-year budget off of that.
Yeah.
Are there ever times when you derive the 3-year plan and then the budget, and then you go, you know what? I don't think I can make it. I don't think I can do this budget.
Mm,
And then
interesting.
you have to change up the goals ever? Does that happen, or are
Of
you always
course.
trying to? Okay.
Of course. So life changes. So with our CFO clients, like I said, we take them to the exercise of, here's our 10-year goal. Let's build out the 3-year plan. And a 3-year plan, we usually get a little bit more specific: revenue, a number of employees. Do I need an operations manager? Like, what's my management team look like? We forget about all the other operational pieces that go into hitting 7 figures of revenue. Um, and then when we set the 1-year budget, we do it with the best information we have available today. And then life changes, because life changes. And so what we do with our CFO clients is, we reforecast. And so
Mm,
I would say at least once a year we reforecast. But some clients are reforecasting quarterly, even monthly.
mm,
So we take what we know now and update the budget based on the information we have. So we're constantly making decisions based on the most relevant data. What I don't want you constantly changing is your 10-year North Star and your 3-year plan. Um, because I want you to remember what you are striving for, but the 1-year budget is going to change in the reforecast. Um, and then your 3-year plan, each January, we do it in January with our clients, or like December, January. You're going to reset that 3-year plan because 3 years has moved out. So we're going to revisit where did we think we're going to be, and then let's update it for today.
Got it. Love that. So really, I think we went on an interesting tangent there, but at the end of the day, it's all about
I love it.
monitoring and really noticing where you're going along with your own numbers so that the earlier on you can catch it, the quicker you can understand where you want to take it and adjust accordingly, ensuring that you are slowly but surely moving step by step closer to that North Star. Now, for our listeners who already has 2 or 3 devices sitting underused in a treatment room, what is the one financial review they should run this month to stop the bleeding and makes the next capital decision differently?
Yeah. Look at your financials right now. Your first thing that you can do is to look at your financial statements and what is the impact of what's happening in your business today. The what am I going to do about it part, that's where your action comes in. You can then set the budget, look at the next 3 months. If you have 3 pieces of equipment sitting underutilized, what are the actions? You don't have to do 25 of them. What are the 2 to 3 actions that you as a CEO can take to start to bring in that revenue, um, and to stop the reactionary decision making? I'm with you. I love to buy new things and to have the latest and greatest equipment. I'm right there alongside of you. But let's pause, talk to your money team. And if you don't have a money team, find a money team that you actually want to talk to. Like, our team is this absolutely amazing, caring group of women who want to like take you in and be like, okay, let's do this together. Let me help you make this decision. Find a money team who wants to do that with you so that they can help you set the budget and think through these decisions so that you're not making these decisions with emotion, that we're making them with data, calm, steady, controlled, confident, and empowered decisions.
Right. Now, Danielle, before we close off here, I would love to get a key takeaway from our conversation. What's the golden rule?
The golden rule is to look at the data. So if you are on your own and you're like, Danielle, I can't get a home money team right now, I want you to leave this episode with that you need to take responsibility for your role as CEO. Even if you don't feel like the CEO of your business, you are the CEO. You own that role. Straighten up your spine, take control. You are responsible for knowing your numbers. You are responsible for the financials of your business. Cash is the number one reason why business owners go out of business. Take control of your decisions. Look at your data. And then if you need support, get a money team. You're not meant to do this alone. You don't have to do everything yourself. Get a money team so that they can rally around you.
Now, Danielle, this has been incredibly practical. For our listeners tuned in, where can they find you and the work that you do?
Yeah. Kickstart Accounting Inc. is our website for both for bookkeeping. If you are ready to set that 10-year North Star, create a budget, envisioncfo.org is our CFO services. Kickstart Accounting is our Instagram. Come hang out with us. We have our podcast, CEO Numbers Network, as well, where we talk about how to use your numbers to make business decisions every single week.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Danielle Hayden.
Thank you.
Now, as we wrap up, if you're looking for some clarity on the digital side of your practice, Echo Marketing is offering our listeners a complimentary 60-minute strategy session, a simple one-on-one conversation to help you map out a realistic 12-month roadmap for attracting high-value patients, get your underused equipment marketed properly, how you can do that, figure it out. You can easily grab that time that works for you at businessofesthetics.org/MSM. I'll repeat that one last time. Business of Aesthetics, that's one word, .org/MSM. I'm Dan Adisha, and this has been the Business of Aesthetics podcast. Thanks for listening. Keep on leading.